it comes to planning for your future, you want someone you can trust. At Prairie State Investments, Mark Pfeiffer is here to help you build a plan that fits your life, your family, and your goals. Whether it's retirement, college savings, or investing wisely for tomorrow, Mark has the knowledge and local commitment to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future up to chance. Call Mark Pfeiffer at Prairie State Investments today at 815-668-8131 and start investing with confidence.
When the job matters, your equipment can't fail. That's where J&R Rentals delivers. Serving Tri-States area from East Dubuque, J&R Rentals is your local source for dependable equipment. From lifts, trailers, pumps, and job site essentials built to work as hard as you do. Homeowners, contractors, big projects or small jobs, expect the same standard every time. Pickup or delivery is available. Equipment sales, service and repairs, propane refills, reliable equipment from people who know the job. Call J&R Rentals today at 815-747-7707 and get to work.
Welcome to NUIC All Access. I am here with Fulton Principal and Athletic Director Jeff Parsons today as we get ready to talk about the Eric Ottens Shootout, which is coming on Saturday, January 24th, which is actually tomorrow, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love you still call me Coach. I love that too, so thank you.
Oh, absolutely. You're always going to be Coach to me, sir.
I appreciate that.
First off, Eric Ottens, let's talk about his story and what this shootout means as far as the Ottens family goes.
Well, I tell you, I can't say enough about the Ottens Foundation and Eric's family. And I obviously didn't know Eric. I knew of Eric in the coaching world, obviously, when he was at Fulton, but tremendous player, went Division I, went to Evansville. You know, it's difficult to get into a Division I program from a 1A basketball school, but he did it, and he played the right way, a tremendous scorer. He's in our top 5 of all time in scoring, and you know, his passion for the game, his charisma was just on and off the court was electrifying. Everybody that was around him was, you know, I won't say mystified, but just loved watching him play and loved hanging out with him. He tragically passed away after his senior season at Evansville, and in 2006 in an automobile accident. So his family and Fulton combined to obviously start this shootout, and you know, it's been around for at least 15 years. And the Ottens Foundation does a lot for our school. They give money to underprivileged kids for their athletic fees so that they can play sports if they can't afford it. They just gave us thousands of dollars to upgrade our weight room for our kids. I mean, and they have a golf tournament in the summer and the first Saturday in August, and his Evansville teammates come back, and it's packed. It's, you know, you can't get in it unless you sign up right away. And they always ask the teams the previous year if they want in first. So it's hard to get in if you're not in. I've been fortunate to have a spot in it and play in it since I've been in Fulton, and it's a great opportunity. It's a great fundraiser as well. And the proceeds that we get for this tournament, we have sponsorships and obviously concessions and things that we do, that also goes to the Eric Ottens Foundations. I'd be amiss if I didn't, you know, their family, Denny and Sue and Matt, are class 1A people. I've really gotten to know them really well, and I just wish I could have known Eric. But what a great opportunity to honor one of our best in a shootout with one of the best shootouts in the state of Illinois. And couldn't be more excited for this.
Yeah, no, that is an exceptional story, and it's great to hear how closely related the Ottens family still is to Fulton High School and the contributions that they continue to make and help with the Fulton Steamer community. That's always an excellent story, and, you know, especially having to do it through hard times as well. But, you know, awesome story there.
Yes,
So,
couldn't agree more.
we have this shootout. You just said it's what you feel is one of the best shootouts in the state. And before we came live, we were kind of talking about some of the teams that we have, along with, there's a list of teams that still want to get into this shootout as well that you've had to turn away. Tell us about the teams that are in it a little bit, and then we'll go matchup to matchup. But tell us about the excitement that this shootout's actually driving, that you're getting a lot more teams interested in coming to Fulton for the shootout on a regular basis.
Yeah, I tell you, we really do a good job of, it's a class organization. It takes about 30 people to run this thing. And, it's, some of the members of the Eric Ottens Foundation are doing the clock and book in the West Gym. We've got volunteers in the East Gym. It's just a huge ordeal. And, we have teams like our hospitality room is our steamer suite. They'll serve breakfast, lunch, and supper for officials, coaches, admin, and bus drivers, media members. That brings a great crew. We take care of our coaches. After the game, Manny's Pizza and Manny himself are in the tournament, as well as Phil Schaefer, and he goes around and gets orders of pizza and tacos for the team. So we feed the team Manny's Pizza and tacos after their games, because we've alternated their JV and varsity playing. So when both teams are complete, they'll go to our high school cafeteria and be fed Manny's Pizza and tacos. That's why everybody calls as soon as it's over, and they're like, "Hey, we want to come back. Hey, we want to come back." So we really try to, for lack of a better term, we really wine and dine them and give them a great experience. And they know they're going to play in front of a full house. It's Steamer Nation. You know how Steamer Nation works. They always come out, and it's always a packed house, and kids love playing in front of a packed house as well. And coaches like it. So we strive to get some of the best officials in the area. We feel like it's an honor to officiate that tournament as well, the shootout, excuse me. And a lot of good things going on, buddy. Couldn't be more excited for it.
I will say it's like an hour 15 trip from my place to Fulton, but I've never had a bad trip to Fulton. And you're 100% correct. The hospitality I've always received from the Fulton Steamer Nation is incredible. And, I've talked to obviously a lot of administration along with a ton of coaches within the Fulton community, and always a very respectful a group of people there that I really enjoy talking to every time I get the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I'm blessed, buddy. Blessed to be here. This is an incredible place. I appreciate your kind words.
Working the dream job is Jeff Parsons, ladies and gentlemen.
I tell my high school kids every day as principal, I said, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I love my job. And I'll ask them from time to time, hey, can you tell I love my job? And they're like, oh, yeah, we know you. And so that's kind of funny as well. So I appreciate that as well. I appreciate all you do for not just the NUIC, but high school sports in general. I mean, it's not just football, it's everything. So we appreciate you more than we can even say.
Well, thank you very much. It's a labor of love, that's for sure. Like you said, if you love what you do, you keep doing it. And I've been very fortunate to be going on 10 years into my 11th year here shortly. Obviously, this is our second year of NUIC All Access, but been very fortunate to have a great group of people by my side to help do the productions over the years, and it continues to grow. And I was really excited for the 2025-26 school year, which obviously we're still in. I'm getting even more excited looking ahead to the 26-27 season as well. So I feel like we outdid ourselves this year, but I still feel like there's more to do yet in order to bring an even better product forward. And I'm really up for that challenge and excited for it.
Yeah, we can't wait. That'll be awesome.
All right, Coach, let's take a look at some of these games here. We're going to start with game number 1, because obviously we have our West Carroll Thunder from the NUIC taking on Cal Wheat out of Iowa. Tell us a little bit about this game. Obviously, we had the Thunder on our show here not too long ago talking about Their win total right now sits at 12 wins, which is more than what they've won over the past 3 seasons combined. They've done a great job of turning around a lot of the culture that they've had within the Mount Carroll, Savannah, and Thompson communities that form the West Carroll School District. Obviously, I'm not an Iowa guy, so I don't have a lot of information on Cal Wheat, but give us some information on what you see as a great opportunity in this game here.
Well, I tell you, like you said, I don't want to repeat it, but West Carroll's done. I told Coach Naples, I said, I know it doesn't matter what I think, but he's done a great job with that program. They're off to their best start since 2017-18, and they got a nice senior led team that they play that are really athletic. Obviously, they had a great football year, an 8-man, and they got a good supporting cast off the bench, and they're really looking for consistency and to make some noise in the postseason because they feel like this is the first time they've been able to be there. And, it's not easy in the NUIC, and basketball wise, they're on the tough side, and it can be really troublesome at times, but they got some kids that can play, and we're excited about that. As far as Cal Wheat, Iowa doesn't play near as many games as Illinois, so they're 12-1. But boy, do they play at a fast pace. They're averaging 71 a game, and they're only giving up 41. So that's a 30-point difference right there. So something's going to have to give tomorrow. Looks like they're running a lot of ball screen motions, so a lot of man-to-man, try to get up in you and create some turnovers for baskets. West Carroll likes to do that as well. And they've got some kids that are doing pretty well with Sprague and Koch and Clack, and they, 18, 10, and 10. So they've got 3 guys averaging in doubles. And West Carroll's got the Leborn kids, their leading scorer at 16-8. So, it's the 9:00 game. It's early, and all coaches are like, no, my kids never play well early in the morning. But, what a great game to start with. I mean, we got a 12-1 Cal Wheat team and a much improved West Carroll Thunder. We're excited about that.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Really, obviously, very intrigued with what West Carroll's been able to do. Like I said, quite a bit over here this season. It's really impressive to see what they've done. Obviously, they have had some times where they've struggled a little bit here and there, but at the end of the day, they're doing great things. And like you said, Coach Dables has done an awesome job of really driving a difference in the culture. Obviously, he's in year 7 now, and it's one of the things that we've seen. You mentioned their football success, and we talked about that as well. Their football success has driven a lot that has definitely been embedded and influenced, and it's carrying over into other sports, and that's excellent stuff to see and watch.
I can't wait. I'm excited. So, I keep saying that. I've said it like 10 times. Hey, I'm excited.
We love the excitement. There's no doubt about that. All right, so that takes us to the next game where we have East Dubuque taking on an A-Town team, which in the recent AP rankings, they were not ranked, but they've been showing up in the rating systems pretty much all season long. A-Town comes in at 18-2, East Dubuque 12-9. Obviously, we're going to have Coach Shaber on next week on our show, so really excited to talk to him and a couple of his players and get the East Dubuque Warrior experience. But they have pulled off some close losses against some good teams, especially against state runner-up Eastland, where they had a 2-point loss at the Eastland Shootout earlier this year. They've also had some good wins as well, and like you said, coming out of that NUIC West Division, very, very tough division to play in on a week-in, week-out basis. Tell us a little bit about that. Obviously, we know about A-Town. I don't know as much. A-Town used to be a team that you probably played quite a bit in your days at Weathersfield, I would imagine.
Yeah, they were in. They had joined our conference. They were in the Prairie Land. They came in the Lincoln Trail my last 2 years, so I actually coached against their head coach, or he was a player for Abingdon in 2008. He was one of their starting guards when we beat Abingdon at Abingdon for a regional title. And he doesn't like to talk about that, but I don't really bring it up a lot. But So I'm so darn old that I coached when he played, but he does a great job. He's been there at Abingdon for 7-8 years now, and was an assistant for Jeremy Anderson, who's at Macomb, that was there forever, and just won his 300th game. So a lot of pedigree down there. But yeah, you're telling me that Coach Shaber's going to be on your show. I don't know how you're going to corral him. I mean, I thought I was active on the sideline, but that guy goes everywhere. And man, howdy, I don't want to get hit with that towel. So, you know, so
Yeah.
it's going to be the tale of two coaches, because Link doesn't get really excited unless he's changed the last couple of years. So he kind of sits down and lets his boys do their work, but he does a great job. But yeah, the Tornadoes, we played them in the Lincoln Trail. They were always really good. So, and East Dubuque's getting better and better by the day. They keep getting, playing tough competition, and they're winning, and they're in games. And Scott does a really solid job. But yeah, A-Town, they've already beaten Riverdale. Riverdale's been really good. They've already beaten Sherrard. Sherrard made a deep run last year in 2A, and their only two losses are to Jacksonville Route, who's in the top 5 of state, and Macomb, who's almost a 3A school. So they've got 5 guys that they really rely on, anywhere from seniors to sophomores, that can score the basketball at any time. So they all know their role. They all are connected, and they get along really well. So it'll be interesting, because they really like to defend the basketball physically. And I know East Dubuque's athletic, so I'm anxious to see how Sherman and Schulting are going to get their points, obviously, because East Dubuque has to have them to be successful. Have to have them to have good games to be successful. So that's going to be interesting in itself as a storyline.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I've watched Ethan Schulting be able to take over a game. When Xander Tierney definitely gets in there and starts helping out on the side, and he's starting to put up some buckets, that's when you're going to see East Dubuque really become more explosive offensively, even with Bo Dolan in there too. So yeah, I agree with you. This is a great matchup. It'll be great to see, because we haven't really seen a whole lot of what A-Town looks like, and what the the Lincoln Trail Conference looks like up here, and now we get an opportunity to see that firsthand here. So it'll be a lot of fun to watch that play out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you were talking about Riverdale and how tough of a team they are, and naturally they typically are one of the top teams in the area. This year they're off to a 13-7 start, so not quite as high as what they have, but they have had some great wins throughout the season. They're taking on a Freeport team that is 5-12, and Freeport's had a hard record, but they play in a very tough and rugged Nick 10 conference as well. This one here, I think, will be a great opportunity for both teams to kind of show their stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the tale of two teams, because, Freeport's got some length and some athleticism, and obviously they're going to try to pound it down low, which and Riverdale's pretty guard oriented. Clark and Tegler can both shoot it. I think they both had over 20 the other night when I watched them play our Steamers up at the Brick House Shootout in Moline, and they both were lighting it up. They shoot from the outside consistently, so it's going to be a battle. Is Freeport going to be able to stop the outside shooting, and what's Riverdale going to do with the inside post presence and the athleticism of Freeport? And their record's deceiving when you're talking about playing 1A, 2A schools, because their conference that they play in, obviously, with all the Rockford schools, they got a tough schedule. So that, for their area coming down into this shootout, I think they feel like they're going to compete, and I think that's going to be a heck of a game. But yeah, the Riverdale can shoot it, and they're very, very athletic, and they get things done on the court. That's for sure. So that's going to be an exciting matchup.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to watching that one. Game number 4 takes us back to another NUIC familiar team in the Lena Winslow Panthers. Coach Blakely has the Panthers off to an 8-5 start. I was at their game here on Thursday night and last night, and they had a great win over a Pecatonica team. That was coming off of tough losses to Galena and Dakota, of which I was at the Galena game and I watched the Dakota game on NFHS. But Lena Winslow a lot of athletes. And, one of the things that you talk about when you watch Lena Winslow play on the basketball court, they got some big dudes. I mean, obviously they got a lot of football guys, but man, when you see the size of these kids compared to other teams, like the physicality difference is just ginormous when you're watching Lena Winslow play. Obviously going to have a tough matchup here with Marmion Academy, I think.
Yeah, they Marmion played in the shootout last year, and of course, Peck took care of them, and so their coach came up to me, Joe, who was at Indian Creek forever, and had a lot of good success up there. And he goes, "I'd really like to come back. I know we didn't show very well, but Peck was really good, and they were." And so we really like this matchup. Yeah, the Panthers came to Fulton the other night, and I thought it looked like a junior college team, to be honest. I've watched college basketball teams that weren't as big as these guys, and boy, is why I had no idea. I'd seen him on the football field for years, and I don't remember him being that big in basketball last year, but holy cow, is he filled the part out. He looks like a man child, and no wonder he's going to Western on as a preferred walk on. I mean, he is very put together. They all are for that matter. And they play that 1-3-1 and you can hardly pass over it, and then they trap you and you can't see out of it. So and they got a lot of guys too, role players and guys that come off the bench. Brady White shot the ball really well against us the other night, and Kearns is coming on like crazy, and it's going to be great. But Marmion plays, here's the tale of two teams. Marmion plays 11 to 12 kids. They've only got 3 seniors. They got 15 juniors and sophomores, so they're kind of rotating their roster. They have guys that are averaging. They have 5 guys averaging anywhere from 8 to 12 points a game. So depending on who gets hot is who they play. But yeah, they go 11, 12 deep, and they get after you full court. So it's going to be the 1-3-1, kind of slow down, get a good shot with Lena, as opposed to get in your face and get after it Marmion. And they play in the Chicago Catholic League, so I'm sure they've seen the bulk that Lena's going to bring them physically, at the 3A level. But what a great matchup, so
Yeah.
can't wait for that one. That's gonna be a good one too. So, and Joe had a lot of success at Indian Creek. I said that already, but he brings his great brand of basketball to Marmion, and he always loved coming here, and that's where that started. We got Marmion coming down because Indian Creek was in our shootout forever and loved it. So he was asking to get back in, and we were glad to have him, no doubt.
Well, and it's always great when you can bring Chicago Catholic League teams into a shootout like this and know that it's going to be a competitive game as well. I think that really speaks a lot of volumes. And the more interesting fact is, now that the football schedules are out, Lena Winslow's going to play Chicago Catholic League in football this fall as well. So it's intriguing when you take a look at basketball. They're playing a CCL team, and now in football they're going to be doing the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were excited about our matchups and yeah, it's a Rubik's Cube, no doubt, but Coach Coffee and I sat down and we were able to put this together. And yeah, we're really excited about this matchup.
Game number 5 features Pecatonica, who had a great season last year, as you said. This year they're off to a 10-9 start, but they're very, very young compared to what they were a season ago. They're still trying to find who they are. Very, very competitive. Obviously, this week it's been tough. They had a 3-point loss to Lena Winslow last night. Tuesday, they lost to Dakota by 3 points. Very, very tough games that moves them to 4-2 in NUIC North play at the current moment. But Coach Bobby Heisler is definitely getting these guys playing at a higher level. They're starting to see some more things turn up. And, it's one of those things where, like Lena Winslow, I expect to see Pecatonica playing better as we turn the month into February, and then we start to get into that regional action. And especially when you take a look at some of those seeding opportunities, there's some teams in there that Pecatonica has beat already that they might be a little bit rated under, but head-to-head competition always means something when it comes down to coaches doing rate or seedings.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what was going to be one of my points. With them being 10-7 and only 3 losses to 1A teams, they're playing a lot better schedule. They were right with Galena, and we know how Galena is. They're very good. So I see them getting better and better as the year goes on. I know they've got a really good sophomore kid, and the Arnold and the Johnson kid are seniors, and that was part of why I brought Peck and Bobby back, because I'm like, you guys, you look good to me. Your juniors are solid. I know they lost a lot of key pieces, but they're going to be really good come postseason time. And I don't think people are saying, hey, give me Peck in the first round of the regionals. They're not going to want that. So, and Will Ray's the North Ridge Prep coach. Him and I are on the IBCA committee together, and he does a great job. He's on the All-State committee with me as well. Hall of Fame coach. He used to coach in college, came to Northridge Prep. His son's his head assistant, very knowledgeable. They are very young. They play in a very tough conference, so that everybody looks at their schedule as 8 and 10, but they play in a 3A, 4A conference, and they're a large 2A school. So come postseason time, don't be surprised if you see Coach Ray and the Knights, in a sectional final, because that's just how they do things. Very competitive, and he is a great, great coach, and does a great job with them year in and year out. So he's a master of the game. There's no question.
Game number 6 has Muscatine versus East Peoria. This should be a pretty interesting game. Obviously, we have the Muskies they're ranked high in the state of Iowa right now, right?
Yes, sir.
And East Peoria, the Peoria area always has great basketball programs when it comes to Illinois basketball.
Yeah, I tell you, this is going to be, these next 2 games are what we call our marquee games. We always try to bring in bigger schools that are up and coming. Last year we had Morton, who had just won the big school division of the State Farm Classic and just put on a show. This year we were lucky enough to get East Peoria. I've known Coach Brown for a long time. He was at Morton before he was at East Peoria. They've got the Quentin kid. He's about 6'6", 6'7". He's fully committed as a junior to the University of Illinois. And, I like what Brad Underwood does down there. So he must see something in that kid that's really good. And they've got the Du Bois kid also that's been offered several Division I programs, and they're 14-2. They're really good. And Muscatine is one of the best teams in the MAC. I mean, the MAC is no joke on the Iowa side. You know that. I mean, it's great basketball. And they started off 6-0. They're ranked 4th in state, and they've been 3-2 since the break. Again, the Iowa schools don't play near as many games. They're only allowed 20 in a year. As we're in Illinois, we're allowed 31. So they got 7 juniors that fill out their roster, and their coach, I talked to him a little bit, Luke, and he said that one of his favorite things is that group, any one of those top 9 can score in double digits on any given night. So that's going to make them really good. I talked to Coach Brown today. He's nervous. They're really good. I talked to Luke the other day, and he's nervous about their game too. 2 good teams, but they're both excited to play in this because it's going to show them, where they're at and where they need to be come postseason time.
Well, and that's one of the more important things about these kinds of shootouts. There's really nothing to lose here and more to gain, because if you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. Does it help out where you go for playoff seeding? It can, but will it have a great effect? Probably not. But the bigger picture is you get to see exactly what you are up against somebody else and where you probably need to either A, get better at, or B, already know where you're excelling at as well. And it gives you a better picture of what you need to work on as we begin to approach that playoff season.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. That's we're so looking forward to that, and I know they are too. And anybody that's coming, they better get there early, because be probably standing room only when these 2 teams play. They normally are. So we're really looking forward to that.
If you guys can't feel the excitement out of Coach Parsons, I don't know what to tell you. It's exuberating right through the screen to me right now. I love this, Coach, and I know you're a big basketball guy on top of it, but this is awesome. Let's go to game number 7. We have Moline against Rockford Auburn. Obviously, Moline plays in the best gym in the state of Illinois at Wharton Fieldhouse. Now they get to come up the road to Fulton, make that hour drive north or so, maybe a little less. But they're going to be playing an Auburn team as well. a lot of interesting stuff between these two teams. Obviously, Moline's 15-5, Auburn's 13-6. But you have a little bit more information on both of these teams. Let's hear about that information, and then we'll discuss the matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Taylor, I've known him forever. He's a Hall of Fame coach and over 700 wins, multiple state championships, 1996 with Shelbyville. He took Macomb to state. He was at Quincy for a long time, and then obviously just won the state title a couple years ago at Moline, and just does a great job. I was at Roseville when he was at Macomb. I got to know him real well, so when I called him and he was excited to come, and he's like, "Well, Jeff, we're not the normal Moline team we are, but they're still pretty good. The Welsh kid and Hendricks kid are really, really good, and Rocky is the team to beat in the Quad City area, and actually Moline has beaten them once already. So it's going to be dynamite. And Coach Ott at Rockford, Auburn, he's on our Hall of Fame committee for the IBCA with me, and great guy. Coach Nick Van Exel, an NBA player, he coached him in high school. Good storyline there, and they play in the Nick, the tough side of the Nick, obviously the big side, and they're 8-1. So they play in a lot of big school tournaments. They have a Amir Danforth is a 2,000-point scorer. He's already signed at North Dakota State. They've got the Champ kid's a 4-year starter. He's getting ready to go over 1,000. Actually, he just did the other night. Excuse me. So they're loaded. This game is going to be top to bottom, really, really good. It's going to be the guard play and the post play of Auburn, and the guard play of Moline, and you got two Hall of Fame coaches going at it, which that's always exciting because you get to watch them operate, so to speak. As a former coach, I love watching those guys work. So no doubt.
Yeah, it's one of those things when you're a coach, you see the game at a different viewpoint than the normal fan, and you start comparing the X's and the O's and what the strategies are as the gameplay goes on, and it gives you a different feel for what's truly happening and makes it even more interesting, like you said, as you have two Hall of Fame coaches kind of going at each other, trying to out-duel each other in a chess match.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're beyond excited. Brian's a great guy. Um, and Sean's a great guy. He's pretty fiery on the sidelines. So's Brian. So it's going to be a treat for our fans to be able to see that and watch it. So we're beyond excited.
The nightcap brings us to game number 8, where the host Fulton Steamers are going to take on Byron. Obviously, the Tigers 14-2. Those two losses are to a couple tough 1A teams in Sterling Newman and Dakota. And, Byron is a team that a lot of people are talking about potentially looking at a deep 2A playoff run. Fulton, obviously, sitting at 8-13 currently right now, but we're starting to see Fulton turn a lot of things around as the season gets closer to the end of the regular season. They're really starting to pick up their games and how they're playing, and this is going to be a great matchup here, I feel, as well, with the height between both teams, along with the scoring presence that both teams have to offer.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Coach Coffey does a great job, and everybody always asks me, "Hey, do you miss coaching?" I don't, because I watch Coach Coffey and he does a great job, and if they were struggling and I felt like that he couldn't get the job done, I feel like I'd probably want to be more involved. But he is tremendous and does a great job X and O wise, and super excited to have him as our coach. But yeah, our boys are getting better and better by the day. Jacob Boss, our leading scorer, he's really stepped up. He was the state top 5 finisher in golf, and Landon Lou's going to Co next year. He's really stepped up his game after his severe injury in football there his junior year. He's kind of back to his normal self finally. Braden Myers and Owen Van Zuden, to me, they happen to be cousins, but they are the glue of us. And, Braden keeps us together. He's our senior leader. And when O gets hot from 3, he can really keep everybody in the game. And, we got a special freshman, this D'Angelo Dodd kid, that he starts from day one, and he's one of the better freshmen in the area. And I know that RJ's looking to have forward to having him for the next 3 or 4 years. And he's getting better by the day too. You know, he did look like a freshman early, but he's getting better as we go. But you know, Matt does a great job at Byron. Known him for a long time, and they're starting to come into their own. Obviously, they got a late start with their football run. They had some injuries. Uh, they've only been able to play 4 games with their full team. So, and their sophomore guard is out for the whole entire year due to a football injury. So they're still kind of short a little bit. But Cason Newton is he's the real deal. Ryan Tucker was part of my IBCA 1A 2A All-Star game, and I got to take him on the floor at the University of Illinois for all-state recognition, and what a great kid and a great player. And the Newton kid's got 1,400 points, and he's on pace to break Tucker's school record this year. So he's having a great season. So it's going to be dynamite, you know, and it seems like our Steamers play a little bit better when we have better competition to play, but they're going to need to because Byron's really good. So, you know, and I know the Considine kid plays. There's a little side story there. His mom's a Goose, married to Sean Considine. They met at Iowa when he played there, and it was funny because his wife's mom was my daughter's elementary teacher, so small world stuff. And you know, his wife came back and they weren't married yet. Her and Sean weren't, Nicole and Sean weren't married yet, and obviously Caden wasn't born yet. But she comes into her mom's room and says, "Hey, I'm dating this guy. He's a decent football player at Iowa." Well, he went on to have a Super Bowl ring and an NFL career, so I think that she kind of sold that one short. But you know, it was awesome. We still talk about that today. He'd always come back to Wethersfield and talk to our kids, and he's a classy human being. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing them tomorrow and know their family pretty well. So I'm excited about that. So a lot of good storylines in the Ottens, and I appreciate you talking to us about it. And again, I'll say it. I think Kyle, this is the 12th time I'm saying I'm excited about this. So I probably should say it.
Yeah, it's about there, Coach. You're absolutely right. And
Yeah, no doubt.
like I said, you can definitely tell the excitement that you have over the shootout. Rightfully so. You guys have put together a great group of games here that are going to be played. First tip-off is at 9 o'clock in the morning in the main gym for the varsity contestants. Should be a lot of fun. There are sophomore games going on as well in the West Gym. A lot of action to take place here at Fulton High School tomorrow in this Eric Ottens Shootout. And if you can get to Fulton, you know, great place to watch a basketball game as well.
Absolutely. I appreciate your time, buddy. And I appreciate all you do for high school sports.
You bet, Coach. Thanks for coming on, sharing the information about this shootout here. Very excited to see how it plays out. A lot of good teams, like you said. And we wish you and the Steamer Nation the best of luck moving forward.
I appreciate it, buddy. We're going to need it. We're ready for an awesome day.
There you go. That's Coach Parsons from Fulton High School talking about the Eric Ottens Shootout coming tomorrow, January 24th. First tip, West Carroll versus Cal Wheat at 9 a.m. with the game following every hour and a half after.